children, welcome to biology class. Last class we started in an online class. I started the cell structure and its function. Okay, let's continue with the same topic. What are the points we already studied? What are you discussed? That let me once brief out. Okay, first point we discussed about discovery of the cell we studied. Who discovered the cell? Robert Hooke in the year 1665, he discovered the cell. To discover the cell, to find out the cell, and he collected the oak tree. The oak tree bark he took the peel of that bark, or the slice of that bark, and he observed that bark under the microscope. Okay, primitive microscope. When he observed under the primitive microscope, he noticed that the cell has empty box-like structure. Okay, an empty box, and he named it as a cell. It's a little room. It's a small compartment, then empty space, and he termed it as the cell in the Latin. Okay, in the year 1665. So after his discovery, and other man like Robert Brown, there on the same period, so that is 1738, he identified that inside the cell there will be the dark staining body that's called as a nucleus. Okay, yes. When Robert Hooke observed the cell, nothing is present inside the cell. Why? Because he took the cell from the bark. The bark is in dead tissue. That's the reason, and nothing is visible inside this. So the discovery of the cell is done by the scientist named as Robert Hooke in the year 1665. So later we discussed actually what is called the cell. What is called as a cell? Why you are studying about the cell? The cell is a structural and functional unit of living organisms. For example, if you want to construct a house, what are the material required to construct the house? We need brick, sand, soil, so on that. These are all structural material it is required to construct the house. Exactly like that, the cell is a structural and functional unit for the living organisms. And we can say at last, the life of the living organisms begins with the cell. Okay, it begins with the cell, and the later on what happened we'll discuss later. Okay, yes. So, and what are the cells? Number of the cells. Number of cells, it will be differ from organism to the organism. Based on the number of the cell, the living organisms are classified into two groups, and the first one is a single cellular organisms, and we can also call them as an unicellular organisms. Okay, the first one is single cellular, or we can say that is an unicellular. And second type of organisms are multicellular. Okay, yes. What is the meaning of that unicellular? The organisms lives with only one cell. Example for this single cellular or unicellular organisms, first one is amoeba. Okay, amoeba, and we can also say that the paramecium, okay, and euglena. Okay, these are the examples for single cellular organisms. Okay, that means throughout the life, everything will be carried. What is that? What comes under the everything? We can say that all the metabolic activities, that is like digestion, respiration, excretion, even reproduction, it will be done or the controlled by only the one cell, and that particular cell organism is called as an unicellular organism. Okay, yes. So the second type of organisms are multicellular organisms. We are the best example for the multicellular organisms. Our body, the human body, is made up of with the trillions of the cells. Okay, all the cells are packed up. Billions of the cells are present, countless also we can say. They're packed up, but they perform their assigned work till the death of the cell. Okay, where this assigning of the work it will be takes place in the living organisms, when this organism is there in an embryonic stage itself, and when the cell is there in the mother womb, then itself assigning of the work it will be takes place. Okay, the cell is identified and given with the specific task of the work. That work continues till the end of the cell's life. That is nothing but we'll call it the death of the cell. See how beautiful it is. Okay, even though many cells, multicellular, many cells are present, the cell which is present in an eye, it's only meant for vision. The cells which are present in the skin, they are meant for only the touch. The cells which are present in the nose, in the higher classes, if you go to the 9th and 10th, we'll study the continuation receptors. Actually, what they call, how this receptors it will be work out. Okay, yes, there is the cells are the receptors which are present in the nose. They are meant for only the smell. Okay, yes, even though many are there, they are assigned with the specific work. That work continues till the death. Okay, yes. So that is about the number of the cells. Okay, yes. The next topic we already we'll study about the shape of the cell. Is it all the cells are looks in the same shape? No. The shapes are different. For example, if you come to the shape of the, what is it called as muscle cell, the muscle cell is just like this. Okay, yeah. So spindle shaped. Okay, for example, if you come to the nerve cell, the nerve cell is different. It is the long and an elongated structure. Okay, it's a long. It has an myelin sheath. Okay, like this we can see. These are the dendrites. Okay, if you see the red blood corpuscles, it's round in nature. So all the cells are not appearing, or they are not having the same shape. The cell shapes it will be differ from or differs. It has many cells, and each cell has its unique structure. Okay, yes. The next one is all the size of the cell is the same? Yes. So size of the cell is also not the same. For example, when coming to the bacteria or the microorganisms, 0.5 millimicrons, very small, minute organisms, and we cannot see with our naked eye. We have to observe under the microscope. Okay, some are microorganisms, they are very small. The size is so less, millimicrons. Okay, if you come to the ostrich egg, the size of the ostrich egg is as big as 150 centimeters. So the sizes are also, it varies. Even though billions of cells are there, they have their own shapes and they have their own sizes and they have their own structure. At the same time, they have their own function too. Okay, yes. The next one. For example, we can say like this, is the cell count it will be more in the bigger animals. For example, if you come to the nerve cell size is 1 meter. But as you know that elephant is a huge organism. Is the nerve cell size is a bigger, or the huge, or the big one, or the larger one? No. As well as when you compare with the elephant with the rat is so small. That means the nerve cell size it will be less or reduced? No. Okay? They have the same in the size. Either it is in the bigger, it doesn't, that means you have to keep in your mind what is that called? The area or the width of the organism doesn't matter to give the maintains the shape of the cell or the size of the cell. Okay, yes. Next one. Actually, what is this cell structure and what is its function? So how the cells are helpful. Okay, if you come to the plant, leaves are made up of leaf cells. Many cells are there, xylem cells, phloem cells. Okay, root has root hair. Xylem is helpful, especially for the conduction of the water. First one, if you see about the roots, and roots are helpful in the absorption of the minerals and the water and the different salts which are present in excuse me, the different salts which are present in the soil. Their function is different. And next one, if you come to the leaves have many cells, epidermal cells, parenchymatic cells, okay, and spongy parenchyma, loosely parenchyma. All these cells are chloroplast, chlorophyll, and these cells are meant for to carry out the photosynthesis. Okay, in the same way, if you come to the human beings, human are in an animals, then human beings, many cells are present. The cells which are present in the digestive system, they help in the digestion, excretory system, elimination of the waste, circulatory system, okay, and it helps to pump the blood. Like that, the cells which are present in an animal, they are meant for digestion, assimilation, absorption. The cells which are present in the plant, especially if it comes to the root, it helps in the absorption and minerals of the salts. Okay, and the cells which are present in the leaves and they are helpful for the preparation of the food, that particular process we'll call it as a photosynthesis. Is it clear, children? Okay, yes, how different it will be. So we can say that every cell is its unique function. It's not having its a common function, we are not saying. All the billions of the cells, if they perform the common function, we don't know how we are the system it will be. Am I right? How we are to be. So, but it is not like that. The body was designed in such a wonderful way, and each cell has identified and given with the specific tasks of the work. Am I clear to you, children? Yes. So, actually, why this cell is essential to the body? I said already the main point we can say, the cell is structural and the functional unit. It is a structural and functional unit for living organisms. How you can say like that means the life of the living organisms begins with the cell. Okay, and cells are modified and form like as a tissues, and tissues are organized and form like as an organ, and each organ has its own organ system. When all the organ systems are there, okay, everyone you can say that how many organ systems we are having? More than 2. Okay, digestive, nervous system, respiratory system, excretory, so on. When all these organ systems are there, there is an individual. That is called as an organism was developed. When once the organism was developed, and we can say that there will be the individuals are developed like as a population, community and ecosystem and the biosphere. The whole universe was established. Then from the tiny object that we'll call it as structural and functional unit of the living organisms is nothing but it's a cell. Is it clear, children? Yes. So actually, what are the main parts which present in the cell? Let me say that. There are 3 main parts. Many organelles are present inside the cell. Out of all these organelles, the main 3 parts are, we have to study about the cell membrane, and we have to study about the cytoplasm and the nucleus. And along with this, different organelles are there. Okay, but we will study at least 2 organelles in the class, and so that we can complete all the more than 8 organs are present in the cell. We will study each organelle and what is its function, how it will be works out. And okay, yes. So let me explain about the first organelle. We can call it, we will say that is a cell membrane. The first organelle is cell membrane. Okay, if you come to this cell membrane we'll also call it as a plasma membrane. Cell membrane is also known as plasma membrane, and it is also called as selectively semi-permeable membrane. Okay, yes. Why this is called as selectively semi-permeable membrane? Why it is called as a plasma membrane? That let me say that. Actually, what is the use of this cell membrane? Cell membrane helps it separates the one cell from the another cell. Okay, yes. So not only that, and it is also separate cell from the surrounding medium. It is just like as an outer layer. Of course, it is not like as a cell wall, but below that, inside the cell wall, this cell membrane it will be present. Okay, yes. So, and why this is called as a selectively semi-permeable membrane? Actually, the cell membrane, children, it is a porous in nature. Okay, let me explain this. It is a porous in nature, cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane is porous. What is the meaning of the porous? Porous means just like a just sponge. You have an idea about the sponge? Yes, whenever this sponge, if you see, it has an openings. If you dip it in the water, it holds the water. Okay? Yes, because of this porous nature. For example, take this. This is an animal cell. Animal cell. Okay? Outside this animal cell, you studied in the class 7. I don't know whether you remember or not. How you can differentiate the plant cell and an animal cell. Okay? Yes, plant cell has cell wall. Animal cell, there is no cell wall. Okay? Yes. So, this is an animal cell. Okay? If you come to this animal cell, this particular one we'll call it as outside. We'll call it as a plasma membrane. Okay? Yes. So, let me draw the plant cell. If you see this, the plant cell, okay, this is a plant cell. So, inside this, we can see the plasma membrane. Okay, this is cell wall, and this one is plasma membrane. Okay, then inside we can see the nucleus. Okay, this is an animal cell. There is no cell wall, and they have only plasma membrane, and this will be the center part. We'll see the nucleus. Okay, let me explain about here. This is an animal cell, and this is an plant cell. Okay, yes. So then outer layer. The outer layer is a plasma membrane. Okay, yes. What is this outer layer will do means it allows inward movement, and the same way it allows outward movement. If the wall is tough, if the wall is hard, just like as a cement wall or the brick wall, it does not allow. As it's a porous, if you will study in the higher classes, if you go to the class 10 or the plus 1 and plus 2, just there we'll study. The plasma membrane is, it's a flexible layer and it's a quasi-liquid fluid content layer. Mosaic fluid nature, you will say. So, what is the meaning of this mosaic as a fluid nature? And it's simple way, standard, if they given the word porous. The word is porous in nature. Porous in the sense, it has some openings and it allows inward movement and outward movement. And another point you have to keep in your mind here, it is selectively. The word itself, it is explains that selectively means whatever is necessary, that only it is allows, and otherwise it does not allow the other things. Okay, yes. How you can find out this particular the process activity means, just you take a potato, peel out the potato and take out the flesh of the potato, and the potato just make it as a whole and keep it the water inside it. Okay, and just that one just you keep it in the beaker containing then another water, because another inside the beaker just keep the what you call as sugar solution. In the potato keep the water solution. When it is moving like that, it is going up, what will happen? It allows only water particles, it does not allow the sugar. Okay, that's the reason upper layer we can see, and the top we can see only the water content only we can see. Okay, once the classes begins, we will do this particular activity, it will be clear for you more. Okay, yes, selectively it is allowing only certain particles to be passed through it, not all the particles. That is the main function of this plasma membrane. It is porous in nature and it allows both inward as well as an outward movement. Okay, for this they given one activity here, how you can say the peel out activity. This is take an onion, children, take an onion, just you peel out outer layers. Onion bulb, this is permanent preparation of temporary mount of an onion peel. This is an outer layer, children, outer peeling. Okay, yes. If you take this outer peel and we can see this the pink color onion bulb. Okay, yes. This is an outer peel. Okay, and take an scissor or cutter or knife and just you cut it like this, and we can see convex. Okay, this is called as concave position. I hope you have an idea about the words concave and the convex. Okay, yes, this is a convex region. Cave in the sense it will be deep. Okay, and this particular part, it will be the deeper regions, we'll call it as concave. Cave, like it is looking, no? Is it looking like a cave? Deep notch. That's it. This is concave side, and this is convex side. Okay, yes. So now what you have to do means, with the help of the forceps, take a forceps and just you have to do peel out. The peel out, then inner peel of this. We have before that peeling, you have to take an watch glass and the petri dish, fill with the water. Okay, yes. So the next step, what you have to do means, take a forceps and take out the peel. In the inner side, just we are doing, no, just inner side, just you peel out. If you peel out, we'll get them peel like this. The peel, we'll get it, and immediately you have to place it in the water. Okay, yes. So first take the onion bulb, and just cut it, remove the outer layer and cut it into 2 equal halves, and take an inward part, that is an concave region, peel out with the help of a forceps. Okay, yes. After peeling, just where we kept that peel, water containing glass jar or the petri dish. Okay, yes. So after that, what you have to do means, just take that particular the peel, place it on the slide. Okay, this is an activity 1, children. What is our main aim of this activity is to prepare the temporary mount of an onion peel. Okay, temporary mount of onion peel. Okay, yes. Okay, for that, that is our aim. Our aim is to prove the temporary mount of onion peel. What are the apparatus required for this? Apparatus required for this is, we need onion. Okay, yes, watch glass. Okay, and we also required brush and saffron. This is a dye, or we can also say the methylene blue. Okay, yes, cover slip and needles. Of course, we need a microscope, and we have to observe this particular the structure under the microscope. So we cut the peel, and peel is ready. With the help of the brush you are using, no? With the help of the brush, and place the peel in the mid of the slide. Small peel only you have to take, not the bigger one, use one. Take a small peel and place it in the middle of the slide. Okay, yes. So, and we also need iodine also. Iodine is helpful for this particular peel to not dry out. As we kept in the water also, and it helps the peel not to dry out. Okay, and after placing it over here, just add an iodine. After that, you have to add a solution that's called as a saffron. Okay, yes. And now take a cow slip. Take a cow slip, place the cow slip over this, what is it called, slide. Children, please, theoretically you are learning, practically we will do whenever it is possible for us after reopening of the schools. Okay, yes. So, and theoretically you have to write, no, to start your own activity. If you have the theoretical knowledge, automatically when I take to the lab, you do yourself, and I'll divide the children into the groups. Okay, yes. Take this, the cow slip, place the cow slip over it. Okay, yes. So, now observe this particular thing under the microscope. Okay, yes, when you observe under the microscope, and we see the structure like this. Okay, we see the structure like this. This is a temporary mount of an onion peel structure. Okay, what we are observing here, and we are observing the cell wall, or the, okay, this is cell wall, and we'll also see the nucleus. Okay, it's simple structures only we can able to see from this onion, the peel. We observed the cell wall and the nucleus, and there will be the cytoplasm also. Okay, this is an activity 1, children. I hope it is clear for you. Let me brief out fastly. Okay, we took the peel, onion peel, and we placed it in the water containing jar, and with the help of the brush we placed on the slide, and we kept iodine and followed by the saffron and followed by the cowslip observed under the microscope, and then we see this particular structure. Okay, so next one. Activity 2 is also given here. So under activity 2, what is explaining here means take a toothpick or an ice cream spoon, open your mouth, okay, and scratch a small saliva which is there on the cheek cells. We are doing now the cheek cell activity. Onion peel over cheek cell activity. How you can do this means take it to pick or then ice cream spoon and scratch it without hurting the cheek. Okay, just take a saliva, and now instead of this peel, what you have to do means first add a drop of water, okay, and then the drop of water contained in this saliva. Just add this particular this saliva, okay. As usual, go for iodine, and the next one as usual use add an saffron, and the next one we have to add the cowslip. Okay, add the cowslip, observe under the microscope, and then we'll see this particular type of structure. These are the human cheek cells. Okay, this is an animal cell and this is an plant cell. Okay, I said that plant cell has what? Cell wall, and animal cell there is no cell wall. That's why I said in the plant cell we observed the cell wall and the nucleus. Now we'll see what we'll see in the animal cell. Okay, yes, when you observe under the microscope, instead of the cell wall, and this is a cell membrane. This is a cell membrane, and we see in the nucleus, and also nucleus, inside that there is a fluid content that is called as a nucleoplasm, enclosed by a layer that is called as a nuclear membrane. Shall I repeat once? And we see in that cell membrane. Inside that cell membrane is enclosed with the nucleus. Nucleus is enclosed with the nucleoplasm, okay, and the enclosed layer is called as a nuclear membrane, and the content which is present around the nucleus is called as a cytoplasm. So that is the difference between the plant cell and an animal cell. Here there is a cell wall, and here there is no cell wall. So cell membrane is an outer layer here. So this the two activities comes under this the structure of the cell membrane, and it will be the porous in nature. Okay, children, so that's all for today, and the next class I'll explain about actually what is called the cell wall. It is an outer layer, outer wall. In a plant cell it is an outside. In an animal cell there will be no cell wall, cell membrane, it will be the outside. Children, I'll send the PDF format for the key points, and just please write it, and I'll also forward the home